don't forget to also mute the movies.
Well, yes, thank you for reminding me. We're also live. Hello and welcome back to ATK42 Games. I'm, as always, your host, Alex, and tonight I'm being joined by...
Dr. Tiffany Knoll, Professor, Popular Culture Department, Bowling Green State University. But last time I checked, you called me something a little different.
Yeah, I typically just call you Mom. Hello, Cat, and hello, Useless Fiend. How's it going?
Hey!
Alright.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Let's see.
Okay, so tonight's program is made of the strange, but we're going to be starting out with some sci-fi first. And believe me, the strange theme works just fine through the entire thing. But I thought starting with something historically significant would be a good place to start. And then we can get weird as all get out.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait for what we've got planned tonight. We got some funky centaurs.
I can hardly wait. And honestly, every time I see the centaurs, all I can think is, oh dear. Yeah, you're not supposed to flop around like that.
No.
Jonathan, hi! Good to see you on the stream.
Hello, welcome.
And yes, Kat, you do call me Dr. Alex's mom.
Looks like we may not have Lily tonight, but that's okay. We'll see what happens there. Ooh,
well, tonight we have films from Georges Méliès, from the studio Pathé Frères, because we don't have an actual director listed for it. And then we have a series of cartoons from animator Winsor McCay. Winsor McCay is best known for Gertie the Dinosaur, which is recognized as a very early cartoon, one of the first character-driven cartoons. But there's no Gertie tonight. It is all about the weird. And frankly, I'm looking forward to it.
One of these days we should watch The Sinking of the Britannic.
You mean the Lusitania?
Yeah, the Lusitania. My mistake.
Yeah, it didn't really fit in with the theme for tonight.
Oh,
so,
absolutely not. But
I put that one on the side.
Understandable. All right. So we're just gonna go ahead and hop over. We all ready?
Yes, let us go.
All right. So we're starting off with A Trip to the Moon.
Released 1902 by Georges Méliès, or Méliès. It depends on who you are and where you're from. And well, as far as him, he was from France. Georges Méliès was a stage magician, and when film became available, he started to see the connections between stage magic and what you could do with special effects, both in camera and also after you've filmed something or in post-production.
Oh, and it's very evident throughout this work.
Oh, yeah. A Voyage to the Moon is inspired by Jules Verne, Voyage to the Moon. And, well, oh, hey, look, they brought their own stools.
No, they just turned their telescopes into stools. I am thoroughly convinced these are actually wizards.
Well, so long as they avoid the wizard lady, I think we should be fine.
Fair enough.
I really do like the way in which he essentially marries science and magic here.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's conflating the two in a big way.
Yeah, just a lot.
Now, there is something else that's special about this particular version of this film. This one is a mostly restored version in that pieces that had been cut out previously and rediscovered were edited back into it. Yeah, something sufficiently advanced technology. Yes.
Yeah.
No, you're not wrong.
Yeah. You're really not wrong.
So, yes, as I'm exactly.
Also,
You
welcome
got it,
Captain
Captain
Hammer.
Hammer. So, as far as this goes,
Mhm.
Méliès was working in Paris. He had, I believe he had his own studio at this time. I believe it was Star, if I'm remembering correctly. I know. It seems like that's something I should be able to just cough up. But,
Yeah, you're
precision
human.
helps. Am I now? I'm
Last I checked.
surprised. Well, that would certainly make it interesting.
Hmm.
See, oh, yes, Star Film was the name of his production company. This is the film for which he's probably best known, although his trick films, which is what they were called, inspired who knows how many special effects artists after him.
Yeah.
All right, so it looks like it has been decided, and it looks like they have elected or selected a committee of folks who are going to go to the moon.
Yep.
And it looks like okay, there's an example of a piece that was added back in. Without the additions, it runs about 11 minutes. With the additions, it runs about 15.
Yeah, it runs for 15 minutes and 40 seconds, give or take.
That is a significant addition. I mean, that's
Yeah.
almost a third of the film.
Mm-hmm. They're really proud of the work that's being done. Oh, somebody
Now,
fell over.
so you've got the three guys who are working on the anvil.
Mm-hmm.
That's reminiscent of another piece of film history.
Yeah.
In 1898, W.K.L. Dixon, who was affiliated with Edison Studios at the time, developed what became known as the world's first sound film experiment.
Hmm.
Now, in this case, the sound providing device was a record. It wasn't optical. We were still like 30 years away from optical. But that imagery is something that featured into some of W.K.L. Dixon's earlier works. And as far as the Dixon sound experiment, it shows two men dancing together to the sound of a violin. There's another man playing the violin in that shot.
Do we still have the sound recording?
It was rediscovered later and reintegrated in. So, yes, Library of Congress has posted it on YouTube. I've used it in class a bunch.
Most excellent.
Oh, between that and the dual turntable sound system that was in use at Gaumont Studios in France,
Mm-hmm.
it's sorry, I could talk about the sound on film and the development of sound on film for quite a while. Maybe we'll have to do
imagine
a special
perhaps
thing about it.
an entire class lecture.
Or maybe a stream.
Yeah.
Oh, I know, Fiendy. Now, the thing about this is that you can tell that they are very definitely accustomed to performing on a stage.
Yeah.
So things are a lot more flat. They're not, it's like the camera was just pointed and just captured the information. But although there is that kind of flat feeling to it, there's not as much depth. The special effects in this are still pretty remarkable.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and they have now loaded the very large gun that they are going to use to launch the capsule. Because, sure, it's a missile. Makes sense to me.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, you gotta build up the speed, right?
Mm-hmm.
You gotta build it up somehow. This
Robotnik
is just
wishes.
a Dr. Robot.
Okay, what you are about to see is
It
one of the
is.
most famous images in early film.
Mm-hmm.
This very cranky man in the moon.
Oh, he's gonna get a whole lot crankier.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, me too,
Honestly,
man. When I saw this years ago in Chicago, live narration was provided. It was pretty neat.
so Jonathan, I have to ask, was it narrating the film or was it more informational like what we're doing here?
Classic shot. Absolutely. That is a good question, though.
You know, that might be the most lush version of the moon I've ever seen.
I mean, yeah. Supposedly it supports life.
Supposedly. I mean, they all seem to. Where did the. It just disappeared.
Oh, the rocket ship?
Yeah.
You know, it went for a walk.
Had to stretch its legs. Okay,
It
you know
also has
what? There
veins
is a.
and cheese. So I hear.
You know, honestly, that was a beautiful Earth that was out that night.
Hmm.
Absolutely love it. Something else that you can really see as far as the staging is the. I'm surprised things didn't fly out as opposed to just sinking into the floor. Oh, it's nap time on the moon.
Yeah.
Awesome. You know what, Jen? I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
I also love that none of them seem to have a problem just sleeping on the ground. You would think with their ages, that would be a bigger problem.
I mean, they're wizards. I'm
Ah,
sure they've got that covered.
okay. I would love to see a script for this,
It was
Jonathan.
narrating the
Honestly.
film from what I remember. Ooh. Yeah.
Oh, look, a bunch of celestial beings.
Of course it's nap time. The moon is out. Yeah.
And it's snowing. I absolutely love that Saturn was hanging out of his planet. That was great. Oh, look, it's just like Studio 54 in the late 70s. Cocaine raining from the ceiling.
Really?
Yeah,
That was a legit incident?
that was a legit thing. That was real.
Wow. Must have
You know,
been wild to film there.
yeah, you know what? Are you talking about this or are you talking about Studio 54?
Studio 54, because holy cow.
Studio 54 was a disco dance club, a very exclusive one.
Oh, okay. I was expecting it to be like a movie studio.
Oh no. Although I do love the idea of space cocaine being the best cocaine. Oh, look, it's land
Uh,
of the mushroom people. No, I guess there aren't any people yet. It's just mushrooms.
yes, it's just mushrooms. But you're right,
So,
this is oddly lush for the moon. We even have flowing water in the back.
you know, that actually was. Oh, damn. Honestly, with the way that umbrella just turned into a shroom, I think it is a party.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, huh. Welcome to native life. Moon people. Or moon
Mm-hmm.
person. Well, okay, I'd probably be a little nervous too if I saw that.
Yeah,
And they
but
have that.
just straight up murder?
Yeah. Well, you know, what else are you going to do to threatening space lobsters?
Say hi, give him a wave.
Well, there's that, or you could take the white imperialist approach and
True.
just attack the natives.
Clearly, that's the route they've gone for,
Oh, yeah.
which is
I mean,
generally ill-advised. But
now you have a king of the moon
standard
lobster.
operating procedure for old white men.
You are not wrong.
Yep.
Okay, I also love that he has crab or he has lobster claws. that just, uh, well,
Don't fuck with the science team.
science bros. All right, so among some of the other things that Melius was up to, according to Melius.eu,
Mm-hmm.
His in autumn 1896, an event occurred which has since passed into film folklore and changed the way Melius looked at filmmaking. Whilst filming a simple street scene, his camera jammed and it took him a few minutes to rectify the problem. Thinking no more about the incident, he processed the film and then was struck by the effect such an incident had had on the scene. Objects suddenly appeared, disappeared, or were transformed into other objects. Reportedly, he discovered from the incident that cinema had the capacity for manipulating and distorting time and space. He expanded upon his initial ideas and pioneered the first double exposure.
Hmm.
In 1898, the first split screen with with performers acting opposite themselves, also in 1898, and the first dissolve in 1899.
That is an impressive resume. I mean, it also helps that he was there at the forefront of this technology, but
Oh, yeah. No, apparently, when Auguste and Louis Lumiere unveiled their cinematograph to the public in Paris on December 28th, 1895, Méliès was a member of the audience, and so he got to see that for the first time. The difference between the Lumiere brothers and the Edison approach was that Edison's camera was heavy, electrical, and stationary.
Mhm.
The Lumiere brothers, on the other hand, had a camera that they could just pick up and take with them, crank operated, so the filming speed could sometimes vary depending on the operator. And as a result, the Lumiere brothers were able to actually go out into the world, as opposed to the Edison approach, which had people coming to his small studio, which was at the time known as the Black Maria. It's because it was a big tar paper covered box
mm-hmm.
so that no light could get in. Eventually,
pictures of that studio are kind of haunting.
I know. Eventually, Edison would move beyond the Black Maria and build I want to say he built a studio in Brooklyn, I believe. Unfortunately, it has since been demolished, but it was quite a sight back in the day.
Fair. I
All right.
Okay, so that's the end of that film. I'm
Now,
gonna get the next one queued up.
the only reason that we even know much about Melius's work is because of what survived through distribution and ultimately archives, because he destroyed all of his original work.
Yeah, which kind of stinks, honestly.
Well,
Shitty thing to do.
yes and no. Apparently, part of what led to it was that there was a shrinking market for his films once the novelty wore off.
Mm-hmm.
And as a result, he abandoned film production in 1912. And
Okay.
again, this is coming straight from Melius.eu.
Mm-hmm.
In 1915, he was forced to turn his studio into a variety theater, and he went back to being a stage magician. In 1923, he had to declare bankruptcy, and it is at this point that the events fictionalized in let's see, the invention of Hugo Cabret comes into play.
Mm.
Méliès was reportedly working in a Parisian metro station He made over 500 films during his lifetime, financing, directing, photographing, and starring in nearly every single one. He died in 1938, but not before being recognized for his substantial contribution to cinema and being presented not only with a Legion of Honor award, but also given a rent-free apartment where he spent the remaining years of his life.
Well, that's awful nice.
It needed to happen, you know?
Yeah. All right. So next up is The Dancing Pig.
I love this film.
This film is interesting.
For more information on Georges Méliès, I've just put a link into the chat for you to check out. And I have a visitor.
You know, Kitty?
Yeah. It is a Buddha.
Ah, excellent.
She's decided to hang out in my lap.
But of course. All right. So, here we go. Dancing Pig.
Because there was such a hunger for content, that meant that studios were recording all sorts of other performances. There were a lot of literary adaptations. There were a lot of individual performances, like trick films and so on. But there was also a few folks looking to the theater for things that could be filmed. And Le Cochon Danseur is one of those things. This was a vaudeville routine, and it was immortalized for us. Now, there might be metaphors, there might be all sorts of things in here. I choose to believe it's just a girl dancing with a pig, because why not?
Why not?
I also love the guy who just popped on the screen, pulled the tape. See, there he is again.
Yeah. It's just a stagehand.
Okay, honestly, I gotta give it up to whoever is in that costume, because to be able to not only move, but to also keep a lot of the pieces that are clearly mechanized in motion, that's impressive.
Yeah. They're doing a lot of work.
Oh my goodness, yes.
I love how the hat's basically just hanging on by a thread.
I hope it's not hanging on by a thread. Can you imagine what that would be like for that poor pig? Also, I'm fairly certain that pigs' tails don't start there.
Yeah.
That seems a little low for a tail.
Fair. Oh, the costume started to come open at the end. Looks like.
Oh, this isn't the end.
Oh. No, you're right. Oh, jeez, you're so right.
I know. You know, this sort of thing would be banned in Tennessee.
Why?
Because Tennessee just passed an anti-drag ban.
Oh. Oof, F.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, for what? 1907?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tennessee is indeed cursed. Oh, jeez.
Okay, the other thing that's cursed are those teeth.
Yeah,
And
what's going on with the mouth right now is...
And there's the eyes. All right, time to go. Aw. Why so sad?
I mean, he's just in his bloomers.
Okay, honestly though, being able to soft shoe while in that costume,
Yeah, that's a feat.
that take yeah, those are feet, but also yes, that is a feat. And this is the piece that has been co-opted as creepypasta.
Understandably so.
Yes, I show this to basically all my students every year, every semester.
Thank you, Flicker Alley, for the clip. All right.
Okay, so up next, you see, that's why I made sure I warned everybody that this was nightmare fuel. And now we flip over to the Winsor McKay portion of the evening.
Mm-hmm.
Why does he get so much attention for animation? Well, aside from being a notable animator in the 19-teens and into the very early 1920s, he also had another career. And I'll tell you more about that once How a Mosquito Operates from 1912 gets up and underway.
Yep, we're all ready to go.
Let's hit it.
All right.
Oh, cat.
Yes, the mosquito.
I love how dapper that mosquito is.
Oh yeah, like he's clearly a professional.
Oh, yes. This is a man of distinction.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I also love how did you notice he grabbed the hat as he took off?
Oh yeah, it fell off and he grabbed it.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Okay, so Winsor McKay was also a newspaper cartoonist who was the creator of Little Nemo in Slumberland, which was one of the very first to use narrative or to use panels to reinforce a specific narrative.
Fear indeed.
Okay, I love how he looks under the door and ultimately he's just like, oh, hey, look, there's a window.
Yeah. That mosquito is too big.
That is probably why transom windows are no longer used.
Oh yeah, you can't let the prehistoric mosquito get in.
You know, that reminds me,
those suckers will bleed you dry.
Well, this one's gonna try. Now, apparently there was an insect, a lacewing dragonfly kind of an insect that was thought to have been extinct for thousands of years that was just recently discovered at an Arkansas Walmart. And by recently, I mean the reporting about it was recent.
Oh, jeez.
Yep. Okay,
also,
he has sharpened
I'm like
up his beak.
sure I saw a window like that in some apartment building in PG.
Oh, you probably did.
Yeah, I mean, this town's old enough.
Honestly, that guy, yes, you swatted out of the way. Oh my gosh, it's true, Cat. And
True.
Here we go. I'm pretty certain that mosquito went all the way down to brain matter.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay,
it's only going to get worse.
Okay, that guy's expression is so relatable.
Yeah. I'd be terrified too.
And yet he goes right back to sleep.
Yeah. Facing forward spinal tap.
And apparently the mosquitoes decided to go into neurology.
Yeah, you know, just discount lobotomy.
Well, no, it was the wrong part of the head to be a lobotomy, but I take what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, clearly the guy isn't suffering too many ill effects because he can still move.
Yeah. Okay, he's not suffering any ill effects yet.
That's why I said not too many. I know what I said.
Fair.
All right, and the Buddha has departed.
The mosquito just straight up ate that person's childhood
Oh
memories.
my gosh, it was still attached to his head when he sat up.
Oh no.
Okay,
Oh, it's
and
going in his nose again.
oh, right through the blankets.
Uh-huh. That mosquito don't give a fuck.
Nope, it is snack time.
Mm-hmm.
I love the way it just rolls off.
I mean, wouldn't you? With those kinds of
Yes.
proportions?
Okay, the thing that creeps me out about this cartoon is what's happening right there.
Oh,
where
yeah.
The mosquito is pulling the blanket back. That's just not okay. Not okay.
Should I go for some more? I think I'm gonna go for some more.
Okay, honestly, this has not without my handbag vibes.
True. How is this man not woken back up?
Well, he's probably suffering from blood loss by now.
True.
Because that's at least a pint.
I mean, that is a man-sized mosquito, as we have already established.
Oh, yeah. No, seriously, that thing is the size of a cat. Well, okay. You've already said man size. I suppose I should probably revise. You know what it reminds me of right now?
What's up?
A Zeppelin.
Yeah?
Because those were in existence and in active use, at least, until the Hindenburg.
Yeah, fair.
Okay, I like how he just waved at us. He knows that guy is not going to respond, but he looked right at the viewer and waved.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Doing acrobatics.
It's circus time.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm absolutely getting the... Mr. Handbag, would you like a nice chocolate eclair? Oh, no, I really mustn't. And, yep, there it is again. I don't know if that's a warning, as in, hey, I bled this guy dry. I'm coming for you next.
I mean, mosquitoes are a serious issue.
They are. And I'm fairly certain this was before we had... Oh.
The end.
Yep.
There's a whole other part to this video, but that's it.
Okay, actually, Al, what I did was I sent you the links with the timestamps in that video.
Yeah.
So that you wouldn't have to search.
No, I greatly appreciate that.
I do try.
All right. Next up. Bug Vaudeville.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
So I mentioned before that Winsor McCay was a newspaper cartoonist. You okay?
Yep. It just started early.
Oh.
It's okay. We're good. I got it.
And one of the series that he had, in addition to Little Nemo and Slumberland, was Dreams of a Rarebit Fiend. For those who don't know, rarebit is a dish wherein you have bread and melted cheese. Reportedly, it's very good, but I would imagine it can also be very heavy. The cheese is melted. Sometimes there's beer thrown in it. It actually sounds pretty good. But I don't think that's something that you should eat late at night because it rests heavy and can lead to nightmares like this.
It's like an insanely bougie grilled cheese.
Yes.
According to Kat.
It's like a bougie deconstructed grilled cheese.
Yikes.
It's
All
like
right.
a step above fondue.
Fair. The original, the originator and inventor of animated drawings, Winsor McCay. What does the rest of that say?
He said this picture is drawn, or it said this picture is entirely drawn by hand.
Ah.
First off, he was not the originator.
No.
That honor goes to a gentleman by the name of J. Stuart Blackton. who was the head of the Vitagraph studio. Okay. Kat,
Yeah, that
I
sounds about right for Benji, honestly.
my guess is your cat probably saw the mosquito and is now checking the window for threats.
Perhaps.
All right, so J. Stuart Blackton is the first recognized animator in film history. Next is Emil Cole. There are some others, but Winsor McCay is probably the one who had the largest cultural impact at the time. Because he was operating in two different mediums, that meant that he had twice the exposure, but that also meant that as an asset for newspapers, he was twice as important, which is part of why William Randolph Hearst, yes, that Hearst, Citizen Kane Hearst, employed McKay. And, well, let's just say he wasn't necessarily supportive of McKay's extracurricular activities like this, but ultimately he was still too good of a talent to just let go.
I mean,
Oh,
yeah.
oh no.
Oh, yeah, no. Completely different McKay.
Okay, I love that this is an eccentric dancer. Oh. Um, it was described as daddy longlegs, but it has wings.
Yeah, that is clearly an insect. Wait, daddy longlegs are insects.
It's advertising.
Hmm. Yeah, what
Okay,
is this?
it's drumming its feet like you would drum your fingers.
Yeah, it's dancing.
Okay, that's not. So would we say this is a bug, not a feature?
Well, it is a bug, but
Uh-huh.
I'd absolutely call that a feature. It sometimes a bug can be a feature. This is a crime.
Oh, now you're juggling your boots. Oh, that's
Oof.
lovely. Oh.
Ah, yes, we can't forget about the one guy in the audience.
Well, this is part of
Kudos
what
to
I
you.
call dreams of a rarebit fiend.
Yeah, fair.
That dude fell asleep and is now looking at man-sized insects on a stage.
Fair.
That thing's got better balance on a bicycle than I do now.
I
Alex,
mean,
did I
it's got better balance on a bicycle than I do at this point.
Alex, did I ever tell you about how when I was a teenager, I could ride a bike and read a book at the same time?
Yes, yes, you did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
actually too hard, if you ask me.
Well, you also learned young,
True.
and there is a certain level of balance required,
Mm-hmm.
or lots of, like pads or something. Oh, by the way, that is a cockroach.
Well,
Speaking as somebody who spent part of her childhood in the American Southeast, I'm telling you, if I would have seen something like this, I probably would have smashed it with my dress shoes.
oh yeah.
Also, did you notice the background? This
Oh
is
yeah,
set
it's a
on a
table.
table.
Yeah. One day, cat. Maybe you will learn how to ride a bike. I am 90% certain that what happened was my parents started trying to teach me and then gave up when it was difficult.
Oh,
Fun fact.
whoa, really, Fiendy? That's amazing.
I just learned that there are 3 different species called daddy longlegs, and one of them does actually have wings. Oh! Well, I sit corrected.
Was today years old when I learned this.
Yeah, no kidding.
Okay, I missed the title card for this act. That's okay though. uh, okay. What they're parodying here are vaudeville performances, which were essentially variety shows. Vaudeville started to develop in the US in the late 18 or in the latter half of the 1800s. And the progression of variety shows pretty much went traveling variety shows, excuse me, went minstrel shows, and then vaudeville and burlesque developed as well. Vaudeville was pretty much killed off by radio. So by the mid 1920s, vaudeville was, if not dead, certainly looking like it might want to check into the hospice.
Yeah, given that it's not around these days, yeah, that tracks.
Actually, it's evolved.
Fair.
Have you ever heard of the program America's Got Talent?
Ooh, good point.
It's just been reborn.
Yeah, now you do it for, yeah, now you do it for maybe money.
Okay, the boxing potato bugs battling Murphy versus Kid
More
Early
like a miracle.
Rose. During this time too, boxing boxing was one of the popular sports at the time, like spectator sports.
Well, yeah.
Other sports like baseball did exist, but this was referred to more as a gentleman's game. It's something that men did.
I mean,
gladiators.
Yeah. I was about to bring up gladiators. Like, that is so clearly just a holdover.
So he got knocked down, but he got back up again. Yes, as a matter of fact, I did know that, Kat.
Yeah, fair. Yeah,
Baseball
actually, that tracks.
Baseball was established as a sport in the U.S. in the mid 1800s. Some of the first contracts are still visible, or excuse me, are still you can still find them. Sorry, ran out of words there.
It's all good.
You know, Al, we might want to end on Gertie, if only to ensure that we are not held responsible for people's therapy bills.
You know what? That's fair.
Okay, beautiful Mademoiselle Butterfly and her steed, the Black Beetle. I like how we had a check-in on the guy who was just, napping.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta check in on your audience every once in a while.
I don't know. Oh, look at the guy down front.
Yeah, he was doing something with his hand.
Uh-huh.
That is an impressive moth.
Mm-hmm. No, that is Mademoiselle Butterfly.
Ah, my mistake.
Probably a riff on Madame Butterfly, which was an opera by Giacomo Puccini, which also involved people in Japan. Interesting how that keeps going around. I'm sorry, I looked away. Did that thing multiply?
No, they just came in from off screen.
Oh.
The spider and the fly, eh?
That is what I'm seeing.
Ah. Seems like he's lucid dreaming at this point.
Does that one at least have the right number of legs?
Let's
No.
see. Nope, that's 6 legs.
Come on, McKay. 2 more legs. That's all you had to give us. Two
Yep.
more legs. Okay, admittedly, the acrobatics are very impressive.
Hmm. Oh.
Yeah, I wouldn't be that thrilled. Oh, it had a face. Uh-oh.
Oh, they beefing. Also, I do like Zombieland.
Oh, mama, it said.
It's fine. I can close my left eye so I can't see the screen. Oof.
All right.
Okay.
I do believe it is time for some centaurs.
I do believe that is the case. Let me go get that queued up.
Okay. I'm also going to go ahead and send you the timestamp for Gertie.
Fair. Much appreciated.
No worries.
All right.
Oh, really? Okay, Jonathan, that actually sounds interesting. I appreciate Ryan Reynolds. He seems to be a fairly decent human being. And I know that I sounded really hesitant when I said that, but sometimes it can be a little weird. You gotta be careful with
He
folks
seems
like that.
not terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. All right. The Centaurs. Oh boy, I've been excited for this one.
Exactly.
Yeah, no kidding. I'll do it again.
All right, it should be noted too that this case of nudity is considered, or at least toplessness, is considered artistic and therefore acceptable.
Yeah, glad my videos are always age restricted. Rate restricted. Oof.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah. You respond her to program to the word I love that.
Oh, okay, that he just picked up a rock and threw it at that bird.
Well, yeah. Why not?
Ugh.
Rate restricted. Oh.
Yes, also that. Okay. Al, I've sent you the link for Gertie in Discord.
I see that. I will look at that.
Look at it
in
later.
A bit.
Fuck that vulture. Yes. Oh, and this is how little centaurs are. Oh, these are parental
Mom,
centaurs.
Dad,
apparently.
meet my new girlfriend.
I mean, check it out. She's even got the right part horse and the right part not horse. Unlike my last girlfriend.
Yeah.
Oh, family photos. Oh. That, no. Honestly.
That child is doing some stuff.
Oh, no. No.
This kid do be vibing. Wait, that was it?
That was, yeah, because it's only a clip. That's all we got.
Oh, we only have a clip?
Of that one, yes, unfortunately.
Oh, that is so unfortunate.
Oh, believe me, I'd love to see a whole one. Jonathan,
me
you're
too.
saying what? Are you talking about the fact that the centaurs existed, or that we just watched them? Because either is legit.
All right. This kid. Next up is the pet.
This is a recent discovery for me. When I was teaching global animation in the fall,
Oh,
I found this cartoon, and
oh, this one.
oh, there is nothing quite like hearing an entire classroom of students just respond to a cartoon like this. Okay, and you know
Go to
very
Wise
well what
Girl and
Strange
Doggo
Dreams
commercial. Why not
you
both?
have. Okay, so wife has already just said, look, you already know you eat stuff, you get weird dreams. And he's just like, I can't help it, it's so delicious.
Yeah. Well, time to have those weird dreams.
Let's do it. The dream.
Ooh, nice smoke effect.
Yeah. Aw, cute. Meow, it says, quite
Yeah.
loudly.
I mean, when you want a human's attention, how else are you gonna get it? Right?
Seems to work for our cats.
Yeah. Yeah.
Little and cute.
You know, when you want to spice up your sandwich, just throw a little bit of LSD in there. You'll be...
Because who doesn't love a psychotropic sandwich?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Gotta wash
Okay.
the cat.
I think it's less wash and more attempted drowning.
You know what? Reasonable response here.
Yeah, cat, exactly. You got it, Fiendy.
What I said may sound very cold, however.
And then let him play on the lawn until you got home.
Yeah. He's so sweet.
I like the bow. That's very cute.
You're crazy about pets. Well, I'm going to bed. Good night. Perfectly normal
Okay.
conversation.
I fed it a saucer of milk, and you ought to see it grow. Gracious.
Yep. Totally normal cat.
This is a dream cat. Oh, yep. Boy, that's cat behavior.
Oh no. Oh no is the proper response here.
Be good now and go to sleep. Okay, why did she just happen to have a crib?
Maybe they were expecting, but now the baby takes priority. I'm driving, so enjoy audio. So enjoying audio. Well, enjoy the audio. I'm nice to have you here. Drive safely.
Alex, you know what
Yes.
this reminds me of?
What?
This reminds me of you when you were very small and you would climb out of your crib, and we were. You shouldn't have been able to do that at the size you were, but by God, you found a way.
Yeah, well, you know, I've never stopped climbing things.
I know.
The rare long-nosed, hooved, hopping short-tail cat. Ah, you're so
That-
right. How could I mistake it for anything else?
Okay, honestly though, this is more dog behavior.
True.
I mean, I haven't had a dog. I haven't lived with a dog since I was 16, but I love how it's just chilling, just poking its head out of the blankets.
Mm-hmm. Hello, I am the baby.
He just licked the guy's face, and the guy's just like, no, not having that.
So he went and slept on the couch instead of... Okay. Whoa, wait,
And,
what did he eat to get bigger?
He didn't.
I've never noticed that before. Don't like that.
Yep. He ate the man's fear. Okay. That cat is not happy.
I wouldn't be either.
The real cat is not happy.
Goodbye.
Chomp. Yeah, it just straight up ate that cat.
Yeah.
And it's breakfast time, everybody. Look, it thinks it's a human.
Yeah, it thinks it's people, all right.
Oh, yeah. Look at me. I am a people. I am about to eat food, gain indigestion, and scare off the other diners.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this one comes with a little bit of extra stuff.
Okay, that is a coffee percolator, and it was plugged in. There was a hole in the table
Yeah.
where it could be plugged into an outlet. So that's what he's pulling on, is an electrical cord.
Yeah.
Welcome to 1921.
It was a different time for electrical safety.
Mm-hmm. Say, Doc, my wife, as you know, is a bug on pets. How can I murder the latest one she's found? Rough on rats will do the trick. Mix me up a barrel of it and I'll phone you when to send it up. Okay, this guy just straight up asked how to murder his wife's pet.
Yes.
He used the word murder.
Yes.
How do I murder the latest one?
He's not batting around the bush or anything. He's being very clear.
Given that
there goes several years worth of coal supply, probably.
Exactly. You know, if you're planning on moving, this might be a great thing to employ. Parrot, you might want to move.
That parrot is not making it out of this film.
Nope. Body count.
Yeah, I believe we have 2 so far. And it's just pets.
Yeah. Oh.
I love this creature. Strange, strange creature. Just cat things. Yep. All of this, just cat things.
Oh, yes. Oh, nap time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, of course you're going to have to take a nap after you've eaten a bunch of living room furniture, bunch of coal.
Yeah. Ah, here's the poison.
Uh-huh. Food
Wow.
coma. You're not wrong.
Oh, gee. Oh, no.
I love how the tail keeps wagging.
Oh, yeah.
That is such a thing.
That can't be healthy.
Usually when the pustules form, that's not healthy.
Yeah. I see it takes after the honey badger, though.
It don't care.
It does not care.
And there you go. It's gone biped. Jonathan,
Goodbye,
that makes
wall.
sense, honestly. Calling out the police. Don't try to capture it, kill it, and hurry.
Yeah, me too. What?
Okay, very grateful that the guy didn't get eaten too.
Yeah.
Okay, I want you to notice that there's a police station right.
Well, there
on
goes
the
an
right
entire
side.
trolley, so that's at least 25 to 50 people. There goes an entire building.
Okay, honestly, Captain Hammer, you are not wrong. Yeah, it just ate the police station. I
Yes.
guess it said a cab.
Who has more? Oh no. A whole police station. Nothing of value was lost. True.
You're not wrong. That can be difficult.
Now they've called in the Air Force.
Which didn't
Look at those
exist in
biplanes.
1961. Now, one thing I want you to notice
Mm-hmm.
is that this scene is very reminiscent of one that would show up in the 1930s in the film King Kong.
Yeah. They really are trying to... Oh, they just nuked the city.
They just, yeah. Well,
Before nukes. Mr. McKay sure did see something coming.
oh yeah. Got him.
Well, with that dark thought...
You ready for some Gertie?
Yeah, let's go have a palate cleanser and then call it a night.
Sounds like a good idea.
Well, yeah. We're just gonna get right into it.
All right, this is likely the cartoon for which Winsor McKay is best known.
Mm-hmm.
Reportedly, this film was the result of a bet.
Oh?
Mm-hmm. And you're about to see that play out on camera. One of the things that I really want to point out is that Winsor McKay was animating before the use of celluloid sheets or cells. He was also animating, I think he was animating before the implementation of what would become known as the Bray-Herd process, which had everything to do with, I want to say, registration marks or registration holes on paper so that you could ensure that everything lined up properly.
Ooh.
Of course,
That sounds time-consuming, like a severe pain in the butt.
I take it back. I think that was actually, I want to say that was Royal Barre. Let me check. Because it's the process that was considered a big deal.
It often is.
Mm-hmm. Thanks to our good friends over at JStore.org, we're able to get a little bit more information.
Okay.
All right. According to John Randolph Gray and Earl Hurd, the key animation patents made it possible to separate the idea that each individual frame always had to be drawn in full. What they developed was a method of separating the elements which required animation effects from other portions of the image that would remain static. This is something that you often will see in the background of cartoons, particularly early ones. When you see a background that cycles, or a background that doesn't move, although the characters in the foreground are moving, that's the Bray-Herd process. Now, and what I was talking about as far as Royal Barre and using registration or something to align all of the art so that it was not going to shift, I was right on that. Just needed to make sure I got the Bray-Herd patents clear.
You mean like in Chowder? Cat. But yes. Maybe? Yeah. Kind of. I'm pretty sure Chowder was hand animated. Was it?
Probably not. When was it produced?
Oh, it was produced in my childhood. So it's entirely possible it was like early 2000s, somewhere around 2005 to somewhere around there.
Okay, so it looks like Chowder actually used a bunch of different techniques. Watercolors, ink and paint, something that is referred to as its pattern style, stop motion, using real food, action figures, and clay, live action scenes with
Oh, yeah.
puppets.
Yeah.
Very
That's
interesting. Okay, so McKay bet a dinner that he could bring a dinosaur to life.
ah.
So what you're seeing here is he's numbering, excuse me, he's numbering the different drawings so that when he would photograph them, he'd be able to have them in the right order. Additionally, it was also a safety measure.
Fair.
What about it fascinated you, Jonathan? Now, McKay often asserted that he was the sole artist on these cartoons. He wasn't. He did a lot of the work, but from what I understand, he not only had assistants, but I believe his own son was one of those assistants, particularly when we get to the cartoons more in the late teens and early 1920s.
Perhaps he took an Edison approach to help.
I hope not. Although, at some point, Al, we are going to need to watch some Edison films.
Oh, absolutely. I wouldn't
The one
dream
I'm
of leaving him out of this.
the one I'm most interested in is called Frankenstein, but that's a conversation for another time.
Fair. Well,
Okay. Yeah,
oof.
you could see it coming,
Yeah.
and that right there is why they numbered everything.
Completely understandable.
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude, you're stepping all over them.
Yeah.
I know it's the stage, but still.
But nevertheless,
Really?
oh, okay, I'm sorry. You say something about destroying a PhD thesis and I break out in a sweat.
Oh. Jeez. Bart, why? Bad Bart.
First off, there would be murder.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not talking through rough on rat.
Yeah.
Winsor McCabe had another side hustle. He wasn't just an animator, he wasn't just a cartoonist. He also did stage performances with what were referred to as lightning sketches. Eventually, though, with Gertie, he was able to marry his performance with this cartoon. And you're about to see how that worked.
Oh.
This is very much like the kind of performance that he would give on stage.
Fair. Kind of reminds me of an event Sam took me to.
Oh,
Yeah, it was Game Grumps related.
oh.
It was like a bunch of artists on stage from different YouTube channels. They get together, they just draw for like an hour
On stage.
on stage.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. I know, you got a bunch of dudes sitting around a table watching this all happen. So Gertie, yes, her name is Gertie, will come out of that cave and do everything I tell her to do.
Yep. Just
Could you
like magic.
imagine? Could you imagine being in an audience when this is going down?
I mean, back in the day, I'm sure it could be shocking.
Or at least a little bit more magical.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Also, at this point, paleontology had not progressed to the point we're at now. So Gertie is not a recognized species.
No.
She is referred to as a dinosaurus. Although the fact that she just ate a rock really does make me wonder if perhaps she has a gizzard.
Most likely.
This
Given
cartoon
the
came.
amount of plant matter that she just ate.
This cartoon also came out 7 years before The Pet. So that image of the pet eating a tree and then eating the vehicle took at least a little bit of its inspiration from this, wherein she just eats a tree.
Fair.
The thing that astonishes me is that the dinosaur understands English.
Yeah, no, that is a surprise. That hadn't ever processed with me before, I'll admit.
It hadn't hit me until just now either.
Fair.
All right. Dancing. As character-driven animation, Gertie was revolutionary and very popular, to the point where McKay attempted a follow-up, but unfortunately it didn't do quite as well. By that point, animation had largely moved on. What we were seeing in the 20s, in the late teens and early 20s, was animation that was largely spun off of existent comic strip characters, newspaper comic strips.
Mm-hmm.
However, you did at least have the character Felix the cat. Oh, Felix the cat was developed by Otto Messmer and Pat Sullivan. Messmer did the art, Sullivan did most of the production and development. Eventually, Sullivan tried to claim the whole thing, but Felix was a tremendously popular character. So much so that when you watch Felix cartoons, you can start to see a resemblance to a certain mouse who would make his debut in 1928.
Yeah.
Okay, plenty of fiber. Got it.
Yeah, she's just hungry.
Well, if you've got that much of you to walk around with, you'd be hungry too.
Yeah.
Okay, something's got her out of sorts.
Ah, a mouse. What? Alright, this is Jumbo apparently.
Gertie is not having it.
Oh! Woof.
Yep.
Goodbye, Jumbo. Hope you become friends with the sea serpent.
She's definitely feeling good about herself now. She has decided to dance for us. So basically, that's the equivalent of an end zone dance. Just in 1914. Without football.
Jumbo's just vibing in the background now.
Well, what else is he gonna do? He's already been chucked into a lake.
True.
Oh, I just realized that Gertie's face is vaguely reminiscent, at least, straight on, is vaguely reminiscent of Kermit the Frog.
Understandable.
Oh, no kidding.
Gertie.
Well, okay, it was this scene that convinced me Gertie was based on a cat.
Yeah, I can see it.
The way that she just laid down, absolutely feline.
Hmm. Little tail wag. Yeah.
Yeah, what a sweetie. Now, McKay's animated work wasn't all sweet dinosaurs and nightmare fuel. He also had a strong sense of social conscience, at least as pertained to the United States' lack of involvement in World War I. In 1918, he released a cartoon titled The Sinking of the Lusitania. And he did this he produced this cartoon against the wishes of his employer, William Randolph Hearst. Hearst was not eager to see the US get involved in a war. He was an isolationist, which is kind of interesting given his newspaper's role in inflaming the Spanish American War. But McKay produced The Sinking of the Lusitania on his own time. And it's a very effective piece of wartime propaganda. The United States entered World War I in April 1917, but even so, McKay still went ahead and released Sinking of the Lusitania. Okay, Jonathan, that is
Sounds awesome.
delightful.
Yeah.
Okay, honestly, that makes sense. Dinosaurs are very cool.
Hmm.
Okay, what would happen at this juncture is that McKay would walk off stage and then supposedly reappear in the film to be carried off by Gertie.
Fair. That's a good way of doing it.
It is indeed. All right, I'm looking up who George McManus was. Okay, here we go. George McManus, the Let George Pay for It, was responsible for the comic strip Bringing Up Father, which was a contemporary of what Winsor McKay was doing.
Gotcha.
All right.
Well.
So you think that was the best note to end on?
Yeah, honestly, especially after the dancing pig and then the mosquito. Two of the most terrifying things that we could show.
That I show to students every semester,
Yes.
usually back to back in the same
Honestly,
class.
it makes sense to do it back to back like that.
Mhm.
Just get the trauma out of the way in one go.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we've hit the end of our stream this evening.
I believe that is the case.
So next week, what are we going to do? I mean, we could try Metropolis.
I mean, we could. That is an awful long film, though.
Well, we could break it into two. Or
Sure.
you and I can talk about it a little later. because I have a list.
Honestly, since we talked about Edison so much in this
Mhm.
stream, why don't we just do Edison next week?
Oh, a whole program of Edison?
I mean,
Let's go ahead and pull in some other things, like the film that is recognized as, well, that would be categorized now as the first Western, The Great Train Robbery.
okay. Sounds good.
Although it wasn't marketed as a Western, but we can talk about that next week.
Silent spy movie.
You know,
Perhaps.
might be able to find one of those.
Yeah?
All right.
Alright.
Well,
Yeah. For real.
I think
Thank y'all for joining. I hope you have a good day, night, whatever it is, wherever you are. I hope to see you next time.
thanks for stopping in. Good
Bye
night.
bye.